Welcome back to Face the State on this Sunday morning. When Governor Lamont was a candidate, he said the state had some pretty archaic systems, and that was one of his goals, to make the state a little bit more streamlined. With us today is his choice to run the Department of Administrative Services, Josh Geballe. Commissioner Geballe, good to see you here on the program.
Thanks for having me.
For our viewers' sake, what exactly is the Department of Administrative Services? What does it do?
It's not one that's well known. So we essentially operate the business functions of state government. So our information technology, our human resources, our procurement function, we look after most of the real estate and facilities of the state, and a bunch of other functions that often exist behind the scenes but play critically important roles in supporting the other agencies and accomplishing their missions.
So what is your goal? Because I know that the governor had said that he could save millions by combining some services, maybe moving some offices together, things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. There's tons of opportunity. So as you know, and your viewers know, the governor comes from a private sector background, and he's been bringing in a lot of that mindset. He's been bringing a lot of people who also come with a private sector background, myself included. And I think there's a lot of opportunity to look at what's been going on in other states, to look at some of the best practices in the private sector that we can apply in Connecticut to streamline processes and to save money and to provide services more efficiently and more effectively as well.
He had mentioned that some departments each have their own IT people and that they do their own purchasing, and rather it would make more sense to do it in bulk. Is that some of the things we're talking about?
Exactly right. So he's used the word fiefdom, and we are a very decentralized state government today where there are a lot of separate fiefdoms in the agencies, but the commissioners that the governor's brought in are incredibly collaborative. We work together, we talk every day, and we're working together on certain functions where we do see tremendous opportunity to bring functions together, to be able to, yes, reduce costs, but also to improve the services we provide by getting more specialization, getting more critical mass in certain areas where we may have lost it over the years as the population of the state workforce has drifted downwards.
One of the big things that people might notice is that a lot of offices are moving. We see some offices being renovated, some buildings, new signs on them and things like that. Will it be more centralized in Hartford?
I think you'll see some movement around, really with the intention of trying to consolidate our footprint, to become more efficient with the space that we have, to get out of some third-party leases, just to try to save some money and to be more efficient where we can. Obviously, we have a sizable budget deficit, and we're all trying to do everything we can to reduce cost and to help address that.
What are some of the more glaring examples of perhaps waste or inefficiency that you've found so far?
Well, there's a lot of bureaucracy in the state government that I think kind of grew out of a reaction to scandals of the past. I think we saw the pendulum in some cases swing pretty violently in one direction, and in an effort to try to reduce risk of that occurring again. But I think in some cases we've swung it too far. And so we're looking at areas where we can streamline processes. We have a number of bills in the legislature moving forward which look to take steps out that don't add value, that don't really reduce the risk to state taxpayers, but do essentially wrap us in red tape and make it very hard for us to take the type of actions and to explore the type of partnerships that we may want to leverage to be able to drive the state forward within the constraints that we have in terms of the debt diet you're talking about on the prior segment and other factors that we're working with right now.
You mentioned leases. Does it make more sense for the state to own or lease its office buildings?
Well, we've been down a trend of owning more than leasing, but again, it's not a one-size-fits-all answer. I think we'll look at it kind of case by case.
As you go through each department, what kind of inefficiencies have you found in terms of the number of employees? Will departments be reduced in some cases?
I think we have an important goal to make sure that we're making the most efficient use of every tax dollar that comes up to Hartford. And so we don't have any specific goals around that right now. What we're trying to do is look at ways that we can become more efficient using technology, simplifying processes, having the right people in the right jobs. And that will result in change, but that's the world we live in. That's what happens in the private sector. People need to keep their skills current. We need to continue to evolve, take advantage of new technologies, and that's what the governor is very focused on.
The Department of Administrative Services is not the DMV that most people have to deal with, and now they know all about it. Josh Geballe, best of luck with you.